Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Matthew, Watty's channel. Today we are back in the game room to conclude the second round of the My Favorite WWF LJN Manager Tournament. So there's only 20 winners going into round 2, so 3 videos easily knocked out, all 10 matchups. So we had 4 in the first, 3 more in the second, and we're going to conclude the last 3 matchups here in round 2. Because we're only going to have 10 winners going into round 3, I'm going to try and see if I could squeeze that into one video, just 5 matchups. And then, round 4 and 5 will probably be the semifinals and finals. So that could be a potential one video as well. And that could knock out the My Favorite Manager Tournament. But I don't have too much space left on my computer. I've been filming a lot of videos and I'm running low. So let's just dive right into the last set of matchups we're going to look at for this video and for this round. Alright, so matchup number 1 is going to feature Pink Shirt Referee as he squares off against Donald Trump. Now, I could be wrong, but I thought Pink Shirt Referee was eliminated. Sorry, I gotta go back a little bit just to verify. Yeah, Pink Shirt Referee was eliminated, so I don't know why I still have him in there. Alright, so we're gonna skip Pink Shirt Referee. So we're gonna have Donald Trump, and he's gonna square off against Brother Love. And then Freddie Blassie is going to square off against the Blue Referee. And Bobby Heenan Gray. I'm wondering if I messed up and put the red... Sorry. That pink referee should not have been in there. Alright, so Pink Referee lost to Jimmy Hart Orange in the very first video. I'm looking at the referees here. Nope, Referee Red lost as well. Alright, so let me try to figure this out for just a second. Alright guys, so I think I figured it out. In the very first video, Orange Jimmy Hart defeated Pink Referee, so I'm thinking I'd probably just put the Pink Referee in there instead of the Orange Jimmy Hart. And here in round 2, Orange Jimmy Hart never faced anybody, so that means that the first matchup, we'll go back. So Bobby Heenan Gray will square off against Orange Jimmy Hart. Alright, so that will close out round 2. Once I pull the figures, I'll be back in a split second. Alright, everybody. So, I kind of feel like this is going to be a very interesting video. Simply because, kind of looking at the different matchups, man, I have no idea who I'm going to choose for these. So, it's kind of an odd one. So, we'll start with the first matchup and see how it progresses. Donald Trump takes on Brother Love. So, Donald Trump, again, as I mentioned before, kind of a special entrant into this manager tournament. Was he ever a wrestler or a manager or anything like that? No, but this competition, in order to make it a little bit bigger, we incorporated commentators, executives. That's why you got guys like Jack Tunney and Vince McMahon in there. And Vince McMahon is also a commentator as well, and a wrestler, so Vince McMahon did everything. And we also wanted to throw in guys like Donald Trump. Why? Because he did participate in wrestling to an extent. Mr. T, Cyndi Lauper, we could probably throw them in there if we wanted to. So, Drew Carey, if they ever made an LJN of Drew Carey, that would be freaking awesome. Drew Carey could have been in there. Obviously, this is a modern-day Donald Trump, older face to him and everything. This is more of a present Donald Trump than what you got from wrestling back in the day. I just remember him tackling somebody on the outside. I mean, who did he tackle? I don't know. I don't know if I was even watching wrestling at that time. Probably not. I don't know. But I just thought that was awesome that the Big Don got involved. It's just a very simple figure, man. Again, utilizing Mean Gene Okerlund. Mean Gene Okerlund is the most commonly used figure when you're trying to make some kind of executive or some kind of manager, interviewer type. So I would have loved them if they had come out with something different. I mean, I don't like the fact that people cut up. And here's the thing. I've said it before plenty. If the figure is destroyed to the point where it needs to be completely repainted or something, or it's got like some kind of rubber damage, like me, if I've got a bunch of these figures and I can't resell any of them, and I've got a Mean Gene Okerlund figure that's destroyed, and the best I can hope for is selling him for like $3. There's no value in selling it for $3, $5, $10, etc. So, you know what? Why don't I take that figure, send it to someone who does customizations for me, and get something that I can really appreciate and add to my collection, and it'd be worth it. Now, obviously, this one right here came from Harvey Snuts on Mercari, but I'm just saying out loud that this is, ideas. Even though I don't appreciate good figures being destroyed, but if they need to be salvaged somehow, I'm okay with it. My customs pretty much speaks for themselves. I just like the face. I love the way that the Don kind of like grimaces down at you. I mean, I just think that is absolutely fantastic. Does he have a legitimate chance of winning the tournament? I don't think so. But I wanted this figure to go so far in this competition because he's just a fun person to think about. And Brother Love, man. The Brother Love Show. I like the figure a lot because Random Treasures for a while hadn't really been coming out with a lot of good figures, and when they finally came out with this one, it was a nice addition to the collection. It was able to complete your LJN Series 6 Black Card figures that were supposed to have come out but never released. So just that aspect of it alone made this a well worth purchase. Plus, it was a legitimate Brother Love character where a lot of the customs I've seen, who do they use? I'm trying to think. I would assume they used Mean Gene, but I can't remember because I know I've seen a couple in the past. But the face was like so cherry red and was like drove me nuts. And I always said that this figure had just the right amount of pink to his face, so I thought it was awesome. The little rose decal on the jacket. He is essentially a Jim Brunzell figure. And Jim Brunzell is a very good figure, so I had no issues with that particular pose. Very playable. Again, if I were actually playing with these, I would use this guy as a wrestler, tag team partner for someone, tag team of 3, what have you. Maybe some kind of I don't know. I was about to call it factor, some kind of faction. Part of a faction or something, but good looking figure. And for a while that this was like my top 5, was on the top 5 list of best Random Treasure figures. Now that since then they've come out with probably another 4 or 5 really awesome figures, so this one's probably fallen further down, probably not even in the top 10 anymore, but definitely one of their best figures and one of, I think, the best figures among the manager tournament. So as much as it pains me to lose the Don this early, just the second round, still, just getting an opportunity to talk about him for a second time was a lot of fun. Brother Love, to me, is an absolute no-brainer. Brother Love defeats Donald Trump. So this one here is probably going to be the toughest matchup of this round. And I've always said that the referee was one of the most enjoyable playable figures. Freddie Blassie, the only reason, like if you don't want to use your imagination, you want to actually think of them in real life terms, you got to think of Freddie Blassie as a 70-year-old man. And you think that a 70-year-old Ric Flair is going to perform the same way that a 40-year-old Ric Flair is going to perform? Of course not. So when I first started my first LJN tournament back in March of 22, and Obviously, I had to wrestle these guys a little bit to, get a feel for the figures, see how they operate, how well they play and all that. This was one of the most enjoyable figures I used. I used this in my Rumble and kept him in for a very long time because he was a lot of fun to use. As a 70-year-old man, I can't legitimately use him as like a bona fide winner, but he is essentially your SD Jones. SD Jones, a lot thicker, but very almost identical play poses for the most part. So, how can you not love SD Jones, which is an easy top 10 LJN, and not put Freddie Blassie up there as well? Color scheme wise, I mean, that obviously puts him down because, very bland colors. Did he wear this? I don't know. I always said it's nice when people customize figures and they put them in ring gear that a wrestler may have previously worn or what have you. But the managers feel the same way, and if this is not one of his outfits, that's okay. It's still a great figure nonetheless. And one of the most easily, playable figures. One of the smoothest figures to use, I think. If it wasn't for the name recognition, if they put Bret Hart in this pose, I think this could be like a closer to number one among the LJNs. It just shows you how good this pose is, how much I enjoy it. What sucks is that his cane is always like so thin and breaks so easily, but the referee, I don't know, I kind of felt like the pink shirt referee was gonna dominate this tournament. And then very first matchup of the tournament was pink shirt referee against orange Jimmy Hart, and Jimmy Hart won. So eliminated one of my favorites, if not my favorite, right off the bat. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe one of the other three referees in this tournament was going to win. I don't think red shirt made it out of round one, and white shirt and blue shirt as the two originals. Okay, that makes sense. That helps a lot. As far as play goes, I think Freddie Blassie, because of his arm being up, his left arm being up higher than the referee, that makes it a little bit more of an unplayable figure. Referee, again, he's just Terry Funk. I can't stress that enough. He's a Terry Funk figure. I like the colors more. I mean, obviously, I'll covet blue and black over yellow and red any day, but what can I do with the referee that I can't do with the Freddie Blassie? Now, if I'm simply thinking of this in terms of creating my own character and not necessarily an existing, because this one is a clean slate. You don't have to make this Earl Hebner, Dave Hebner, Danny Davis, or any other manager or referee you could think of. This could be a blank slate, and you could create your own character. He doesn't even have to be a referee gimmick. It could be anybody, right? It's a generic piece, and that gives you so many more options. I have to go with Freddie Blassie, guys. Like I said, to me, he is a bona fide top 20 LJN figure, and I really thought that he would be on my top 10 list of most favorite figures. But with so many great wrestlers, it was just really hard to do so. But I think I was able to fit him on my top 20, if I'm not mistaken. He could have been like 18, 19, I don't know, but he made that list based on pose alone. Color scheme and name recognition would go out the window for Freddie Blassie, but a solid figure, bona fide champion for this tournament, absolutely. Is he going to win? I guess that's why we watch. I mean, that's why I make the videos, to find out, and I guess you guys watch to find out, I guess. So, alright, so the last matchup, this is a good one. This is a really fun matchup. It is going to feature Jimmy Hart squaring off against Bobby Heenan. What kind of sucked earlier is I noticed that I'm like, man, that sucks. I don't know if I got to take this out and re-glue it or whatever. Yeah, see, there's like a tear in the hand. I don't know if I dropped it or what happened, but I got to glue that back on. Hopefully it'll stick long enough for me to make it through this. It's kind of weird that it looks like it's a clean cut. Like somebody cut the arm off with like a razor or something. But I'm like, why would you cut the hand off? It doesn't make any sense because the only thing I could think of is they cut the hand off in order to paint the megaphone. But that's crazy. I don't think that was necessary. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some super glue or something. But take away that blemish. I really enjoyed this figure, first and foremost because of the decals of the Nasty Boys, Knobs and Sags, who's on the left side there. Great looking piece. I also like that he kind of altered his color, his skin tone. So you guys know original San Francisco toy makers, when they first started producing all these figures, you know, WCW, they sent out, you know, pictures of the wrestlers and managers, etc. And Jimmy Hart, you know, he looked, you know, like he had a major tan in that photograph. And so when they started coming out with the Series 1 Jimmy Hart figure, he had a dark skin, dark complexion. So they had to recall those figures, and the dark skin Jimmy Hart from Series 1 today is one of the most expensive collectibles out there. The last time I was actually able to see one on auction, I put in a whole month's mortgage to bid for that thing. Well, maybe not a whole month's, but very close to it. Ended up selling for like $1,300. Okay, my mortgage is more than that, but still. The point is, I put in a most money that I ever offered on a figure at that time. And losing out on that was heartbreaking. Imagine having that as part of my collection. My mind would be blown. But they ended up re-releasing that figure with the correct light skin figure. So I look at this figure, I see more of a dark skin tone to him. So that kind of like brings me back to that particular figure. And like I said, I really like the decals on the figure. The little graffiti that they've got, you know, going down the jacket, it's pretty, you know, it's okay. It's not like it's, you know, tough work right there, but it makes it adds on to the design of the figure. This one is from Rob Jackson, and for the longest time, this was my favorite Bobby Heenan figure. I don't know. I think maybe the Elf Bobby Heenan might be my favorite Bobby Heenan now. Maybe. I don't know. I just like it because it's Christmas related and because of the build-ons. But Rob, he did a fantastic job with this figure. I like that he kind of gave it his own color scheme, his own interpretation. Did Bobby Heenan wear this? I'm pretty sure he has. I mean, no doubt. You know, didn't mess anything with the arms or anything. Kept everything alike. Just gave it a fresh new repaint. With figures like this, I'm not so angry about these type of figures. When you think about it, an original Bobby Heenan is so mass-produced. You know, if people keep taking Bobby Heenan and repainting him right, you know, it's gonna eventually they're gonna run out of the original. I understand that concept and I agree with it, but to an extent where everybody has that Heenan, I don't mind this type of figure, especially if it had massive paint loss and they needed to fix it up. Because now you still basically have the same exact original Bobby Heenan, just with a different color scheme. So it's fine. It works. Like I said, Rob, he did an amazing job with this, and it was my favorite for a long time. He could still be my favorite version. Awesome work as always. So, does Bobby Heenan, someone I probably covet more than Jimmy Hart, but better playability to the figure? Does he have better colors to him? This might be a shocker, but I think I'm going to go with Jimmy Hart on this one. I think that, I mean, those two decals with the Nasty Boy heads, I don't think that they're going to be able to save this figure forever, but I think right now it's enough to kind of push this figure round to round. And like I said, with the damages around the hands and stuff, that kind of sucks, but the overall appearance of the figure is spectacular. With so many Bobby Heenan figures already in round 3, do we need a third one? it kind of tells you which figure I'm kind of leaning towards the most, which figures, but I think it's important to have at least one Jimmy Hart. And he won because I like the figure a lot, not because I want to push for Jimmy Hart over a Heenan or have some kind of character separation. So, Orange Nasty Boys Jimmy Hart does move on to round 3. And Bobby Heenan is kaput. So, did I write? Yes, I did. Alright, so in round 2, original Vince defeated Yellow Elizabeth. The blue Vince Custom defeated Black Elizabeth. Original Bobby Heenan defeated the white tuxedo Mean Gene Okerlund. White shirt referee defeated Mr. Fuji. Original Mean Gene defeated the purple Slick. The Mean Gene with the alternate arm defeated Howard Finkel. And Heenan Elf defeated Heenan with the black and alternate arms. In this video, we saw Brother Love defeat Donald Trump. Freddie Blassie defeat blue shirt referee. And we saw Orange Nasty Boys Jimmy Hart defeat the gray Bobby Heenan. Alright, so once again, that's 10 winners. At the conclusion of series, or round 3, we're only going to have 5 winners. I could do a one-on-one followed by a one-on-one-on-one and move 3 winners into the final round. I'll probably do that. So round 4 and round 5 will be in one video, so it won't be taking long. And round 4, of course, will take one video. So after this video, just 2 more and we're done. Now, I kind of really enjoy having this breakdown where, you know, Mondays or some kind of like real chat video, Wednesdays maybe some kind of review or something, Fridays being like tournaments. It really gives the viewers an idea of what to expect on certain days and not just find random videos on, you know, whenever they're posted. So after the conclusion of this tournament, I might continue on with tournament videos and move on to my least favorite tournament right the following week. If that does happen, of course, I will let you guys know ahead of time, but that's something I'm planning. I'm also planning on potentially posting 3 videos a week of the tournament, meaning Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Kind of gives you guys more opportunities to watch the videos, and it also gives you, you don't have to sit back and wait so long to watch each new episode. So, alright guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, hope you enjoy, guys.